With every new Monster Hunter game that's released, we get new, unique, savage, and downright infuriating monsters. One of my favorite parts of getting a new Monster Hunter game is seeing when old monsters return. With Sunbreak right around the corner, I wanted to talk about my top 10 picks for returning monsters. Disclaimer, I won't be talking about Elder Dragons in this video because I want to make a separate video on Elder Dragons. This one's just going to be about monsters themselves, so let's get started. Let's start off the list with a monster that's surely coming back. Number 10 is Deviljho. Need I say more? This angry pickle is a fan favorite. Like, he's super fun to fight, and I can't imagine him not coming to Rise. Deviljho would be especially dangerous to anyone recklessly using wire bug recoveries. Yeah, get wrecked. Deviljho, and especially Savage Deviljho, is the king of punishment. And I think that would be really fun to see. Like, absolute destruction in Rise. Deviljho in World was like eating other monsters. I want to see that back in Rise. You know that scene in Rise where you see Magnamalo with an Arzuros in his mouth? Yeah, I want to see Deviljho with a Magnamalo in his mouth. Even if they just brought like Savage Joe back, I'd be really happy. Kind of like what they did with Valstrax, where he's just like in his enraged mode the whole time. I don't remember what it's called or whatever, but yeah, that. Bring Savage Joe back. I want to see it. Number 9, Tetsukabra. Okay, Master Hojo has a freaking baby Tetsukabra, but we can't get a quest to hunt a Tetsukabra in all of Komura? What the fuck is that about? And his armor's all Japanese and shit? Come on. I mean, his greatsword's a giant kitchen knife. What more could you want from a monster? Great armor, great moveset, looks cool as hell, and is a big fucking fraud. I rest my case. Okay, yeah, number 8 is Quirapeko. I know we got the whole Firebird thing covered with the Acnazome, whatever it's called. But with Sunbreak bringing us up to G rank or Master rank, whatever you prefer, I could see Quirapeko being a really fun early game G rank monster. With the ability to heal itself and call bigger monsters to come to its aid, the Quirapeko could produce really fun hunts. Even though the Quirapeko is pretty much a pushover, I think he's pretty cool, and with the proper tweaks to his moveset, I think he'd make a really good addition to Rise. Okay, lucky number 7 was really hard. I had it between 3 different monsters, either the Yurgon, Astalos, or the Legiacris. I had to finally go with the Legiacris. Besides the Laggy being one of the more iconic monsters, I also had to put him on the list because they weren't able to make him work in World for some reason. There was some talks on Reddit that the Legiacris was actually supposed to appear in World, but he didn't. I honestly would love to see what a Legiacris in Rise looks like. With the wire bug mechanics and the different movesets that we have, I would love to see a more dangerous or agile version of the Legiacris. I just hope that if he does come to Rise, that he doesn't suffer from the I'm on land and I kinda suck now syndrome. Without the underwater mechanics of Try and Try Ultimate, he kinda felt underwhelming in Generations, but let's hope that doesn't happen in Rise if he even shows up. Number 6 is Yin Garuga, and who better to talk about this monster than the Garuga man himself? Take it away, hashtag bring back Garuga Mask.
Hello, I'm Sam, well known on Twitter as Bring Back Garuga Mask. Thank you for having me, Ken. And wait, should I have said your name? Anyway, now everybody knows. But let's talk about young Garuga and why it should be on Monster Hunter Rise, especially its upcoming expansion, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, coming this summer. Well, firstly, Garuga Mask. Of course, I need to make my point. Garuga Mask, to me, it's a self-sustaining point on why young Garuga should come back. But if we really gotta go on the nitty-gritty, it's always been one of those iconic monsters, mainly because it has a lot of character. In fact, it's also been referred to as many names, such as Crow, Lone Wolf, and how I like to call it, little fucker. Because it is a little fucker. And that is something you can feel it in his fight. In fact, he's not trying to kill you with its physicality, opposed to Rathian, which is a similar monster who uses the same elements as young Garuga. But instead, he's trying to efficiently kill you by being resourceful on what he can do best, and that is such a warrior way of thinking during a battle. Now, for example, about the mechanics of the roar, there are not many monsters that can chain an attack after the roar and constantly hit you, and this is such an iconic trait for young Garuga, who can really push you to either parry, block, or bring hair plugs to contain the roar and make it so you cannot get hit. And also, because of his intelligence, you can make it its AI, so it can hit you during wire bug recover, so you need to be more thoughtful on when to use this new feature, and that would be super cool. And his weapons, let's talk about it. They are the perfect meat of a joke weapon and actual cool ones. If we talk about his hammer, for example, it's big and it's cool to have it. Dual blades, long sword, they're really cool, and they're quite a great weapon. I think they need a little bit of handicraft to support them, but they got a lot of affinity, so that would be great. And that is all. I think that wraps up all of the young Garuga discussion. Thank you again, Ken, for having me, and I'll leave you to the next monsters. Bye bye.
Oh my god, thanks Sam, that was awesome. Also, don't forget to follow him on Twitter, hashtag bring back Garuga Mask. Links in the description. Please follow him. Number 5 is the brother of the confirmed Shogun Centaur. I want to see Daimyo Hermitaur come back. I love it when monsters in Monster Hunter are fucking weird. I know it's already kind of rinse and repeat because we got the Shogun Centaur like confirmed or whatever, but I think with the proper tweaks to its moveset, Daimyo Hermitaur could be pretty awesome in Rise. Especially if they did something like different and unique with the Daimyo Hermitaur. I had this idea. So what if they gave it Bubble Blight? Similar to what they did with the Shogun Centaur in Generations Ultimate, where they gave it Bleed. Why not give the Daimyo Hermitaur like Bubble Blight? It would make a lot of sense. It already has attacks where it shoots bubbles out of its mouth. And I mean, football armor. Just football armor. Come on. Alright, before we get to number 4, I wanted to say this is where I would have put Gore Magala on my list. But while I was writing the script for the Elder Dragon video, I ended up putting Gore Magala on that list. Spoiler alert. So sorry if you wanted to see Gore Magala on this list. You should like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. My next video coming out is going to be the Elder Dragon list, so stay tuned, I guess. Alright, number 4 is Brachydios. Okay, so you might be noticing a trend here. Besides all the 3rd gen monsters, the monsters that I want on the list are either like really dumb looking, Quirapeko, or something that could be really fun to fight and punishing, like Devil Show. Same thing goes with the Pompadour wielding Brachydios. I think he'd be really fun to fight in Rise. Also, I'd love to see what they would do with the moveset. You know, with every new generation, especially with these new gens, like Monster Hunter World and Rise, the mechanics have been like very different than the older games. So seeing one of the older monsters kind of like transition into the newer gens, I'd love to see what kind of unique move sets they add or kind of what tweaks they do to the monster. I mean, God, there's so much they could do with Brachydios. I think the only monster we have in Rise with Blast Element is Teostra, if I'm not mistaken, so another Blast Element monster would be pretty awesome. And I say fuck it, make his weapons better than Teostra weapons. Like, let's get some Brachydios love in this game, come on. Number 3 is the Demon of the Hidden Mist himself, Plesioth Momochi. No, sorry, I think it's Plesioth? There's absolutely nothing good about the Plesioth, and that's what makes him actually good. He's kind of a meme, but he's also really fun to fight, if not super fucking frustrating at times. The fact that he can bite you, put you to sleep, and then hip check you to next week, fucking terrifying. I think introducing the Plesioth at G rank's the best way to go. Just make him a danger from the jump. This giant fish for legs has historically had the worst hitboxes. I think that shouldn't change. If he's coming to Rise, his terrible hitboxes should come with them. If you're playing Monster Hunter, at least some part of you is a masochist and wants to see this dude return. Also, he has the wackiest looking armor. The armor sometimes has Marathon Runner though as one of its abilities, so that might be really interesting, if not super niche, to see in Monster Hunter Rise. Let's bring the fish back. My number 2 is Nibblesnarf. Okay, hear me out. Its name is Nibblesnarf. Besides being the funnest name to say in Monster Hunter, it's also one of those monsters that stays underground for the most part. It's a pretty unique mechanic for Monster Hunter, and I think it'd be a great addition to Rise. Honestly, it's another one of those monsters that would need a complete overhaul to its moveset. With the right imagination, I could see it being really fun to fight in Rise. With a lot of the combat in Rise being aerial, fighting a monster that's more low to the ground, I think that would really mix up gameplay. I mean, while we're at it, why not make it a subspecies? Like a mud subspecies of the Nibblesnarf? Give it some of the Almudron's mud abilities? I think we've got a really fun and unique monster right there. And number 1 on the list, Seregios. Come on, this guy's amazing. Besides having one of the best greatswords in all of 4 Ultimate, this guy can shoot blades out of his feet and his face. He definitely keeps you on your toes, and I could see him fitting in perfectly for Rise. He even has an Apex variant. So, I mean, it would match the feel of Rise. The fact that he didn't show up is kind of weird with a game that's all about Japanese culture and katanas and blades being a big part of that culture. I feel like a monster made of swords would fit in perfectly with the lore. And although I don't always have the best time fighting him, I think the Seregios is the perfect candidate for a returning monster in Monster Hunter Rise. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. Don't go too hard on me in the comments below. This is my first attempt at making MH content for YouTube. This is also my first video game oriented content in a really long time, so yeah, sorry, hopefully it gets better. I also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/kin7689, links in the description below. Yeah man, I just had my second stream, and I had 16 people watching, and I had people talking to me who were randoms, and it was really cool. I feel really blessed because I know people don't really get that their second stream ever, so it was awesome, and I can't believe I met so many cool people, and I would love to meet you, so come hang out, come listen, Mondays and Thursdays. Alright.